Hello everyone, welcome to LUKMAAN IAS. So today on 13th of March 2021, we are going to understand important articles from the Hindu newspaper. Okay, so let us quickly look into the topics that we will cover during the day. So these are the topics that we are going to cover. Okay, the first topic will be India and China to continue LAC talks. LAC stands for Line of Actual Control. Okay. This topic is important under international relations, under general studies paper 2, and it is also important from internal security perspective under general studies paper 3. Then if we talk about the second topic, we are going to cover Rajasthan Information Commission penalized 5 officials for negligence. Okay, so we are going to talk about like what steps have been taken by the Rajasthan Information Commission in this regard. So this topic is important under governance sections of general studies paper 2. Then the third topic will be bureaucrats cannot be state election commissioners. So it was recently decided by the Supreme Court of India. So we are going to cover this topic under Indian Polity and Constitution of general studies paper 2. Okay. So when we talk about the fourth topic, this topic is about charge sheet filed in espionage case. Espionage means spying, right? So when when people of other country are spying on our our establishments, so that is known as espionage. So recently a charge sheet has been filed in espionage case. Okay, and this topic is important under internal security of general studies paper 3. Okay, and after then we are going to see the next topic, which is casting the Asian dice on a West Asia board. Okay, this is the most important topic for the day. Okay, so this topic is important under international relations of general studies paper 2. Then the sixth topic will be 2 bad options. Okay, this topic is with reference to the peace process in Afghanistan. So we are going to talk about the developments in this perspective, and this topic is important from international relations perspective of general studies paper 2. Okay, then the next topic will be bring down benzene emission at fuel outlets, says panel. This topic is important under environment and ecology section of general studies paper 2. So having understood the topics and their relevance, let us quickly move to understand in depth about these topics one by one. Okay, so the first topic, as the headline says, that India and China to continue LAC talks. Okay, as you might be following that India and China recently had a standoff in the northern sector, okay, of India, like it is also known as western sector for China. Okay, so there was an standoff between Indian armed forces and Chinese armed forces. Okay, so now it was an escalation. We had seen an escalation. Now both the governments are trying to de-escalate. Okay, they want to maintain the peace and bring back peace in that particular region. So they have taken certain steps in that perspective. This particular article was in news. Okay, so the context was India and China will hold another round of talks between military commanders as soon as possible to continue the disengagement process in friction areas along the line of actual control. Okay, so both the countries will have another level of talks between the military commanders. Okay, it means like they already had talks at one level. Now they are going to have talks at another level. Why they are going to have talks? Because they want to bring peace in that particular region. Okay, in the tension areas. Okay, along the line of actual control. So we will see where is the line of actual control, and in this particular article they have also discussed about Pangong Tso Lake. Okay, so in the first round of talks, okay, both the countries have decided to withdraw their troops from the Pangong Tso Lake area. So it is important for us to understand where is Pangong Tso Lake located. So you can see the location of Pangong Tso Lake over here, right? It is in Ladakh. Okay, some portion of this particular lake is located in Ladakh and some portion of it is in China. Okay, so this is the location of Pangong Tso Lake, and Pangong Tso Lake is divided into Okay, 5 parts means like this lake has further, subdivisions, and these divisions are, 5 different lakes. So we are going to discuss about those things, okay, and so we need to understand that both the countries have, proceeded further to de-escalate and to withdraw their troops from the, tension areas in the Pangong Tso Lake. So this is the location of the Pangong Tso Lake, and apart from this, over here you can see the map of India and China. This is the map of India, okay, this is the map of China, and the main tension areas between these two countries at this point of time is this thing, okay, this area. So this, this border between India and China in this particular region, in the northern portion of India, is known as LAC. LAC stands for Line of Actual Control, okay, it stands for Line of Actual Control. So having understood this, let us move little further to understand about the developments in this particular perspective, okay. So we are talking about the same article now, okay. So as I already discussed that India and China will hold another round of talks between military commanders as soon as possible to continue the disengagement process in friction areas along the line of actual control, okay. And before this, they already had one level of talks, and that level of talks was held virtually. Virtually means like, online, okay. So like, this was agreed on Friday as officials from both sides virtually held 21st meeting of the working mechanism for consultation and coordination on India-China border affairs, okay. So this is in short known as WMCC. WMCC, you can see it is listed over, it is mentioned here. WMCC stands for Working Mechanism for Consultation and Coordination, okay, Working Mechanism for Consultation and Coordination on India-China border affairs, okay. So this is in short known as WMCC. So they already had the 21st round of talk at WMCC, and there they decided that now we are going to have a military commander level talks, okay, to further continue with the de-escalation process, okay, and disengagement process in the tension area between, okay, between India and China. So now the two sides reviewed the situation. Two sides means on one side there is India, on another side there is China. The two sides have reviewed the situation along the line of actual control and had in-depth discussion on the remaining issues, okay. So this was a statement that was made by the Ministry of External Affairs in India, okay. And a 11th round of talks between corps commanders would be held as soon as possible to further ease the situation on the ground and jointly safeguard the hard-won peace and stability in the border areas, okay. So after the working mechanism for consultation and coordination meeting, now they are going to have a military commander corps level talks on both the sides, okay, from both the sides, and that will work towards bringing peace in that particular region, okay. So since since the meeting, there has been no official word so far on the progress of disengagement in the Gogra hot spring area of the Damchok, okay, Damchok. So this is a very important information. You should locate this particular location on a map, okay. You should search about the location of Gogra hot spring area in the Damchok, okay. So you should locate where is Damchok located, where is Gogra hot springs located. This will help you in answering questions related to mapping in your prelims examination, okay. So in the interim, like meanwhile, okay, the two sides should continue to maintain stability at the ground level and prevent any untoward incident. So both the sides, both the countries have together decided to bring peace in that particular region. They already had talks, okay, like at the working committee level. Now they are going to have the talks at the ministerial level. So what is important from this particular article is is for us, like we should locate some important locations like Pangong Tso Lake, and we should look forward what are the different parts of Pangong Tso Lake, and apart from this we should also locate Gogra hot springs area in the Damchok, and you should also note down some important information like working mechanism for consultation and coordination on India-China border affairs. Okay, you should note down this particular information in your notebook, so that if you happen to write an answer related to India-Pakistan, border issues, so that you can point out this particular thing in your answer. Okay, so having understood this, let us move to the next topic for the day. And before that, let us solve a practice question. Okay, let us look this particular question first. So this question reads, okay, it reads, with reference to Pangong Tso Lake, consider the following statements. Okay, statement 1 is Pangong Tso Lake is an endorheic lake spanning eastern Ladakh and western Tibet. Okay, then Pangong Tso, this is Pangong Tso, okay, it is not 2. Pangong Tso is divided into 5 sub-lakes called Pangong Tso, Tso Nyak, Ram Tso and Nyak Tso. Ram Tso itself is a twin lake, okay, it is a twin lake, means like, there are 2 lakes, they are named the same, okay, there are 2 lakes, they are named the same. So these are the 2 statements. First statement is right, it is an endorheic lake, means like it is a kind of lake which is, which is not very salty, and this is not very fresh also. It is in between, okay, in between salty and fresh. So that is known as endorheic lake. So Pangong Tso is an endorheic lake, this is right information. Second is like, this particular lake is further subdivided into 5 different lakes, and these are these lakes. Okay, Ram Tso, like there are 2 lakes of the same name, so like it has been written only once. Okay, so Pangong Tso, Tso Nyak, Ram Tso and Nyak Tso. Okay, so both these statements are correct. It means C will be the right answer for this question. Okay, C will be the right answer. So its solution is mentioned over here. Okay, solution of this particular question is mentioned over here. It says that like both these statements are correct. Okay, so this was the question. On the left side you can see this was the question, and on the right side, okay, solution is given, like answer is C, both these statements are correct, and this is Pangong Tso. Okay, this is the location of Pangong Tso. So having understood this, let us move to the next topic for the day. Let us understand this topic, okay, in detail. So let us see the headline. What is the headline here? The headline says Rajasthan Information Commission penalizes 5 officials for negligence. Okay, so as you know, like we have state information commissions. So in every state in India we do have an information commission, and at this central level we have like Central Information Commission, and Chief Information Commissioner heads the Central Information Commission. So recently the Rajasthan State Information Commission has penalized 5 officials, 5 government officials for their negligence. Okay, so these government officials were information officers. Okay, they were responsible for giving information to the people under the Right to Information Act 2005. Okay, so these officials were responsible for giving information under RTI Act, but these officials have shown negligence in their work. They did not provide information to the information seekers at the right time. So that's why the Rajasthan Information Commission has taken a very aggressive move, and it has taken proper step to penalize those officials who are negligent in doing their work. Okay, so this particular topic is very important under governance section of General Studies paper 2, and it is also important under under General Studies paper 4, and under General Studies paper 4 like ethics, integrity and aptitude. Okay, so if you are an officer, if you have been given a responsibility, okay, by your department, so it is your duty to fulfill your responsibility in your office. Okay, so these officials who have been penalized, they did not perform their duty in office, they have shown negligence. So this was a step in the right direction by the Rajasthan Information Commission. Okay, so these information officials had to give the information under the Right to Information Act. Okay, so the commission imposed fines on 5 officials of different departments and passed adverse remarks about their conduct. Okay, so some of the officials were given a penalty of 10,000, some of them 15,000, and some of them given 50,000 penalty. And these penalty or fines will be taken from salaries of these officials. Okay, so that was the issue. So having understood this, let us move to the next topic for the day. Okay, so this is going to be the third topic for the day. Okay, recently what has happened, okay, what has happened, that the government of Goa, okay, so Goa is a state in India. You can see this is the map of India and this is the location of Goa. Okay, so recently the government of Goa had appointed, okay, one of its bureaucrats as state election commissioner. Okay, so who was the bureaucrat? Basically, the government has appointed law secretary, okay, of Goa. Like government has given additional charge to the law secretary of Goa, okay, as state election commissioners. And like people had filed case, okay, in the High Court and from in the Bombay High Court. Basically, Goa do not have its own High Court. So the nearby High Court is like Bombay High Court. So Bombay High Court has jurisdiction, okay, over Maharashtra as well as Goa. So Bombay High Court had given a judgment and there was an appeal in the Supreme Court of India to that judgment. Okay, so Supreme Court of India has recently given a verdict and Supreme Court of India has categorically said, okay, categorically said that no government officials, okay, should be given the charge of an state election commissioner. Okay, why? Because government officials will, okay, toe the line of the present government that is working. Okay, so it will hamper the process of election. Why? Because we need a fair, okay, free and fair and independent election in country. Okay, so people who have vested interest should not be given charge of state election commissioners. Okay, so the Supreme Court of India has recently categorically said, it said like those people who are officials in any capacity in the state government, they should not be they should not be appointed as state election commissioners. Okay, state election commissioners should be independent people and they should be able to like deliver their duty in their office, okay, without any pressure of any political party. Okay, so Supreme Court of India has said those officials who are those government officials who are holding any post, right, as a state election commissioner, they should be removed from a state election commissioner's post. Okay, so that was the decision of the Supreme Court of India. Why? Because vested state election commissioner should not work under vested interest, and at the same time, okay, and at the same time it is a serious job. Like being an state election commissioner is a serious job and it requires a full-time personnel, right? An existing government official cannot be given an additional charge of state election commissioners. Okay, so that was the issue with which, okay, this particular article was in news. Okay, this is a very important article. You can actually note this particular like case study and you can use this particular thing in your general studies paper for answers. Okay, because conflict of interest should not arise. Okay, so here what is happening, conflict of interest is arising because like being a government official, a person will have to listen to the stand of the government, and if he is appointed as a state election commissioner, he will not be able to deliver his responsibilities independently. Okay, so conflict of interest is an issue. So you can highlight this particular thing in writing an answer to general studies paper 4 that involves conflict of interest. Okay, and at this same time, okay, you can use this particular thing in governance related answers as well. So having understood this, let us move to the next topic for the day. This is topic number 4. Okay, so let us see what the heading says. The heading says the charge sheet filed in espionage case. Okay, charge sheet filed in espionage case. So what has happened recently? Okay, what has happened recently? Recently, like you might have heard, like in the year of 2019, there were reports that some of the naval officials were involved in giving away secret information to the spies of Pakistan, okay, to the people right of Pakistan. And these people, like these naval officials were honey trapped. Honey trapped means like some people from Pakistan, they have, what they have done, they have contacted these Navy officials through social media platforms, and they tried to contact, beautifully to lure these people, and they had extracted information from these naval officials. Okay, so after then, Government of India had initiated an inquiry process to look into the affair, like how information is being leaked. Okay, so in that perspective, this article is there, and recently the government was able to crack down. Okay, so the NIA, the agency that was involved in the investigation process is National Investigation Agency. Okay, so when we talk about National Investigation Agency, okay, it is a statutory body. Okay, it is a statutory body. What do we mean by this? National Investigation Agency was enacted under National Investigation Agency Act of 2008, and this body was set up after the Parliament attack on 26/11/2000, after the attack on 26/11/2008. Okay, so there was an attack in India, okay, on 26/11/2008, and after then what happened? After then, the Government of India has established a body that is known as National Investigation Agency. Okay, and they made an act, National Investigation Agency Act 2008, and so this is a statutory body, and this particular body actually looks after the anti-terrorism related issues. Okay, it tries to work against the terrorist activities in India. Okay, so it can do search and seizure activities throughout the territory of India in any state without any prior consent from the state governments. Okay, so this is a very important body that is associated with this particular case, and the officials of this particular body were able to investigate and get the information related to the espionage, okay, involving the Indian Navy officials and the ISI agents. Okay, so what has happened? There was a businessman in India. Okay, there is a businessman in India. So he had business in clothing and garments. So what he used to do, he used to visit Pakistan frequently. Okay, to get some of the garments from there, and he was into the business. And later on, it was found that that particular person was not only doing his business, but under the guise of the business, under the under the business, he had another work, like he was helping the ISI, Inter Surveillance Services Intelligence of Pakistan, and and some of the naval officials in India to exchange the information. So the National Investigation Agency officials were able to track down those people who were involved into this particular espionage case. Okay, so let us see what has happened. The National Investigation Agency, probing the Visakhapatnam based espionage racket, filed a supplementary charge sheet against garment trader Yaqub Imran Giteli alias Giteli Imran in the NIA Special Court in Vijayawada on Friday. Okay, so National Investigation Agency had filed an additional charge sheet against this particular garment trader Yaqub Imran, okay, Giteli. So it was alleged that the accused used to frequently visit Pakistan on the pretext of cloth business. He allegedly transferred money into the accounts of the Navy personnel for leaking highly sensitive and strategic information. Okay, so on November 2019, the Counterintelligence Police of the Intelligence Department, busted the Visakhapatnam based espionage racket in which a few young sailors of the Indian Navy were allegedly involved. Okay, so during investigation, it was revealed that Yaqub Imran, an active ISI operative, Yaqub Imran is an active ISI operative as per National Investigation Agency, and he was in contact with Pakistani agents and raised funds for terrorist groups and their activities. Okay, so the National Investigation Agency has initiated an operation. Name of the operation is Dolphin's Nose. This is a very important information from this article. Okay, you should remember the name of this operation. The name of this operation is Dolphin's Nose. Okay, Dolphin's Nose. Okay, so Dolphin's Nose was an operation that was carried out by the Counter-Intelligence Department, Vijayawada, the Naval Intelligence Department and the Central Intelligence Agencies. Okay, and they tracked the movements of 7 sailors of the Navy for many days, and they were arrested in 2019. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, and those naval officials were honey trapped, and they were they were paid through a hawala operator. So this is all about this particular issue. This is very important from internal security perspective, and it gives an information to you that how the investigation is being carried out in India against anti-terrorism operations in India. Okay, so you can utilize the points mentioned under this particular article in writing an answer, and at the same time you should remember the name Operation Dolphin's Nose. Okay, so having understood this, let us move to the next topic for the day. This is the 5th topic. Okay, this is a very important topic. Why it is important? Okay, we'll discuss why it is important, because recently what has happened, an exercise is going to be conducted. Okay, an exercise is going to be conducted. Name of the exercise is known as Desert Flag. Okay, name of the exercise is known as Desert. Okay, Desert Flag. Okay, so there will be a military exercise which is known as Desert Flag, and this particular exercise is going to be hosted by United Arab Emirates. Okay, UAE, and India is also going to participate in that Operation Desert Flag. Okay, so this highlights the importance of South Asian countries in the West Asian dialogue. So India is a South Asian country, and it is participating in military exercises or exercises in involving West Asian countries. So that's why the heading is casting the Asian dice on West Asia board. Okay, so what is important for us? We have to understand the nature of exercise Desert Flag. We have to understand about what are the countries that are participating in that particular exercise. Like, you should remember the name of the countries that are participating, and you should also understand about various nitty-gritties associated with this particular exercise. Okay, I'll also talk about Abraham Accord in this exercise, with reference to this exercise, and I'll also discuss about Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action JCPOA 2015 in this particular reference. So this is a very important topic. Okay, so let us see the context. Okay, so this month a contingent of Indian Air Force, including fighter aircrafts and over 120 personnel, is for the first time in the midst of a multi-nation exercise hosted by the United Arab Emirates. Okay, so who are the countries that are going to participate? So other than India and the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, France, Saudi Arabia, South Korea and United States are also participating. Okay, you should remember the name of these countries. Okay, India, United Arab Emirates. Okay, then we have Bahrain, France, Saudi Arabia, South Korea and United States. They are participating in Desert Flag operation. Okay, and now, so this actually shows a new trend in the geopolitical affairs in the West Asian countries. Okay, and it involves South Asian countries as well, like India. Okay, so this is the 6th edition of the Desert Flag exercise this year. Okay, this is the 6th edition. What it means, like before this there has been 5 times that Desert Flag operation exercise was conducted. This is the 6th edition. Okay, as tension between Iran and US is peaking. Okay, so tension between Iran and US has been peaking for last 4-5 years. Okay, since Donald Trump came into power. Okay, so tension was escalating between Iran and United States of America, and meanwhile this Desert Flag operation is being conducted in United Arab Emirates. Okay, so the thing is, we will understand various other things also. Okay, so to counter Iran, okay, various countries have signed Abraham Accord. Okay, various countries have signed an accord which is known as Abraham Accord. ABRAH. Okay, AM. Abraham Accord was signed. Okay, so how many countries are part of Abraham Accord? It was signed between Israel, United Arab Emirates and Bahrain. Okay, so Israel, United Arab Emirates, UAE and Bahrain, these three countries have signed Abraham Accord to counter, okay, the growing influence of Iran in the region. And all these three countries are participating in the desert flag operation. How? Because in desert flag operation it is going to be, okay, like not all these countries, I guess Israel is not participating, but UAE is hosting the desert flag operation and Bahrain is participating over here. Okay, so the thing is, it shows like how the geopolitics is working in the West Asian region. Okay, and as you know that, like, you know, like Iran has signed a joint comprehensive plan of action in the year of 2015 to reduce its, you know, enrichment of uranium and to, you know, keep the usage of uranium for civilian purposes, like for the generation of electricity, not to use for dual purposes, like, you know, because various countries want Iran to, you know, restrict its this nuclear enrichment program, so that like it cannot build any, okay, nuclear missiles and all. Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, so with that perspective, this article was there. And as you know, in the year of 2019, what has happened, you know, in the Strait of Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz is very near to Iran. So in the Strait of Hormuz, okay, Iran has confiscated a South Korean tanker, and name of the tanker is MT Hankook Kemi. Okay, MT Hankook Kemi. So this particular tanker was, you know, confiscated by Iran in the Strait of Hormuz. So you should locate where is the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, like this particular strait connects which areas, okay, which, you know, which water bodies. You should, you know, like find out these information so that you can answer any questions in prelims, okay, that comes in that perspective. So this came at a time when Tehran and Seoul were locked in an argument over billions of dollars worth oil payments frozen due to sanctions against Iran over its nuclear program. So what had happened, like, you know, United States of America had put sanctions on Iran, okay, because Iran was going ahead with the nuclear enrichment program. So when United States of America has put sanctions against Iran, okay, some, you know, billions of dollars of money were stranded in the banks of South Korea. Okay, so billions of dollars of money was stranded, and South Korean banks did not allow the transfer of money to Iran at that point of time. So Iran has reciprocated it by seizing a tanker and giving a message to South Korea with reference to this. Okay, so there was an escalation in the year of 2019. If you were, you know, following the news items at that point of time, you would be remembering this. Okay, so now India's security footprint in the West Asia has seen a steady increase, and energy security and safe passage of sea routes are one of the main driving factors for India. Okay, the Indian Navy has made multiple port calls from the United Arab Emirates and Kuwait to Iran and Qatar in recent years. And in 2020, India had also planned its first bilateral naval exercise with Saudi Arabia, which was postponed due to the novel coronavirus pandemic. Okay, so how this thing is going to unfold in recent future is mentioned in this article as well. So what will happen? The regional states will become more responsible for their own security, and as Asian economies become stronger stakeholders, their geopolitics will become more visible across the geography. Okay, so this is a very important topic from, you know, international relations perspective, and especially with the geopolitical issues in the West Asia. You should remember about Abraham Accord. you should learn about Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, and then you should locate on map the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, so you should locate where is the Strait of Hormuz located, which water bodies it connects, which land masses it separates, and all. Okay, so having understood this topic, let us move to the next topic for the day. This topic is also important from international relations perspective. Okay, let us see the heading for this particular topic. Okay, so let us see the heading. The heading is two bad options. Okay, two bad options. So what are bad options, and to whom this particular option is available, why these options are bad? We are going to discuss all of it in today's discussion. Okay, so two bad options. This particular article is with reference to peace process in Afghanistan. Okay, so it says that Afghanistan's leaders have to choose between war and sharing power with Taliban. As you know, that Afghanistan has a democratically elected government now, but like Taliban has been ousted with the help of United States of America. Okay, so since then Taliban has been struggling, okay, to come to power again, and they have adopted the means of terrorism. Means of terrorism means like they are involved in violent activities, okay, to come to power desperately, and they have killed, you know, like thousands and thousands of people in this process. So now the presently established government in Afghanistan, they want peace anyhow, and so the thing is they want peace, but the thing is peace is not going to come until and unless the Taliban is satisfied or Taliban is pacified. Okay, so for that purpose the United States of America has given an option to the Afghan government. Okay, what option did the United States of America give? The United States of America has said that an interim unity government can be established in Afghanistan, where immediately, okay, the power sharing should be done between Taliban and Afghanistan government, and 50-50% power sharing will be done. And during the process, like after this interim government is formed, they will together work out for a constitutional mechanism or a constitutional framework for sharing of power in future. Okay, so this is one option that is available to the Afghanistan government or to Afghanistan at this point of time, that involves sharing of power with Taliban. Okay, so this is something that is undesirable. Okay, and this is something that is not preferred by the presently established government in Afghanistan. And at the same time, the other option is to deny Taliban any sharing of power. In that case, Taliban will continue, okay, it's a struggle, and it will continue to do violence, and they will kill, thousands and thousands more innocent people in the process. So that is also undesirable. Okay, so these are the two options that is available to the Afghan government. One option is to share power with Taliban, okay, and like in the interim government, and to work out on a constitutional framework for the coming future. The second option is to go ahead with war with Taliban. Okay, so both the options are bad, but like there seems to be no alternative to the present Afghanistan government, because like they are not that strong hold in Afghanistan at this point of time, and their power is there because the United States of America has stationed its armed forces in Afghanistan. So the armed forces of United States of America has been there to maintain peace in the region. But despite that, okay, there has been continuous violence by Taliban. And before this, in the year of 2019 and 20, okay, Doha Agreement was signed. Okay, Doha Agreement was signed between Taliban and United States of America, where Taliban has, Taliban has declared that it is going to reduce the use of force and reduce the violence. But despite signing that particular agreement, the violence continued to rise in Afghanistan. So now the President Donald Trump, okay, during his presidency has already announced he had announced that like we are going to withdraw our armed forces from the soil of Afghanistan. So that withdrawal of armed forces had already started. Most of the armed forces had been withdrawn, but still a significant portion of the armed forces of the United States of America is there in Afghanistan. So now the thing is, the recently elected Joe Biden administration in United States, they have decided to withdraw, okay, the remaining armed forces from Afghanistan by the date that was decided by, okay, that was decided by President Donald Trump during his presidency, okay. So if the United States of America do not withdraw its armed forces from Afghanistan, then the Taliban government may come up with, you know, more pressing and more violent means, okay, in Afghanistan. So that will be an undesirable option for United States of America, and that will be against, okay, against the peace and security of Afghanistan as a country, okay. So these are the in this particular article they have discussed about the options that is available to the government of Afghanistan at this point of time. So for you, I have included a map of Afghanistan. This is Afghanistan, okay. Kabul is the capital of Afghanistan, you can see over here, and these are the, you know, bordering countries to Afghanistan: Iran, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Pakistan, okay. So India officially shares border, but in actual sense, okay, like, you know, the Pakistan occupied Kashmir shares border with Afghanistan. So like India do not actually share border with Afghanistan, okay. So now United States of America has proposed that like we can have a high level meeting, okay, in Turkey. That high level meeting will involve, you know, various countries like United States of America, Russia, China, Iran, India and Pakistan, okay. It will involve these 6 countries: United States of America, Russia, okay, then China, Iran, India and Pakistan. So it will involve these 6 countries, okay. So it is a matter of time that you know, like that will unfold the, you know, scenes that are going to happen in the coming days, okay. So the Taliban have warned that they would step up fighting, targeting and, you know, against the troops of the US if it fails to withdraw its, you know, troops from the soil of Afghanistan. So now the United States of America want a peace to be established in Afghanistan at the least cost of violence and at the least cost of death of personals of USA in Afghanistan. So that's all that we had to discuss in this particular article, okay. So having understood this, let us talk about the next topic for the day, okay. This is also an important topic for the day. It is important from environment and ecology perspective. So let us see what the heading says. This heading says, bring down benzene emission at fuel outlets, okay, says panel, okay. So a panel that was constituted by National Green Tribunal, okay, has recently said that bring down benzene emission at fuel outlets, okay. So what has happened, how the situation has unfolded, we are going to discuss all of it, okay. So recently, okay, what has happened, a joint committee appointed by the National Green Tribunal, okay. So National Green Tribunal has appointed a joint committee to study the air pollution in Kerala, okay, and that joint committee has recommended the installation of vapor recovery system at fueling stations and retrofit of diesel vehicles with particulate filters to improve the air quality, okay. So what has happened, the National Green Tribunal had appointed a committee, okay, and that committee is known as Joint Committee to look after the pollution levels in Kerala, okay, and that joint committee has recommended the National Green Tribunal and the state government of Kerala, okay, for installation of vapor recovery system, okay, vapor recovery system at fueling stations and retrofitting the diesel vehicles with particulate matter filters, okay, with particulate filters to improve the air quality. So this is the crux of this particular news article. So the report submitted before the southern bench of the tribunal pointed out that the petrol refueling stations were a major source of benzene emissions, volatile or organic compounds, okay, volatile or organic compounds, and particulate matter 2.5, concentration. Okay, so what this particular joint committee has done, they have done district wise analysis, and after doing district wise analysis, they have suggested two things. Okay, one of the thing is it had recommended installation of vapor recovery system at fueling stations. Second, it has talked about retrofitting the diesel vehicles, okay, with particulate matter filter. Okay, so these are the two recommendations of the joint committee that was constituted by the National Green Tribunal. And as you know that National Green Tribunal is a body, it has its principal sitting office in Delhi, and this is a specialized body. Okay, this is a quasi judicial body that is given the responsibility of looking after the environment related disputes and solving them within 6 months of time period. Okay, so with that we have come to an end to this particular article. You can read about other points of this particular article, and that's all that we have to discuss for the day. Thank you so much everyone for attending the session. I hope you have a good day ahead.